What makes cinema and art in 21st century? What makes cinema and art? This is an old question that was raised 100 years ago after the film was made. Most of the people at that time believed that film is a simple tool that used for recording things, which is only a moving photo. The example could be the very early film, The Train Pulled into the Station, which was recording a train entering into the station. The reason why people at that time denied the artistic value of cinema is that what film presents is useless and seems to be redundant for human. Decades later, after Americans find the potential function of cinema, people begin to change the view to it, try to make it artistic. Pudovkin and his friends, a group of film scholars, try to differentiate for cinema between recording and art. With Pudovkin's theory, the essential elements that make cinema and art should be the basic film language, editing, and cinematography, and the director. While a director wants to present his point of view through a film to talk about something deeply and completely, by means of editing and cinematography, then he or she has given a film artistic meaning. For example, with a scene of the battleship Potemkin, Eisenstein used series of montages of the fleeing people and the ruthless military to reveal the cruel of slaughter. Moreover, the elements that he chose to make a close-up were representative enough to build up the tension and the terrify of the particular moment, such as the falling baby carriage and the hurt child. Also, the Kuleshov effect, which is mentioned in Pudovkin's theory, gives directors great help for presenting their points of view to make cinema artistic, and may also help audience understand it more directly. For another example, with the same topic of the train pulled in the station, if the director, let's assume it has a director, combines several shots of different angles of the train and the passengers together instead of a long take, then it could be a piece of independent art. It is to say that while answering the question, is cinema an art, we may focus on the film if it has film language, but more importantly, we should think of whether there is a director which wants to tell audience something that belongs to him deeply and completely through the moving images. After more than half of a century from Pudovkin, most of the people believe that the cinema is the seventh art. Meanwhile, the film industry has developed to a new stage. But there are still people asking, is cinema and art based on Pudovkin's theory? Indeed, nowadays, with tons of film produced every day, the question may be brought up again for discussion. An important thesis of Pudovkin and a number of film scholars is that directors give the artistic value for cinema, which is persuasive and authority. But how if the audience get little from a film? Or how if a film fails to talk about anything to the receiver? In another word, if the director's input fails to transfer to an output, can these kinds of film be an art? For example, the Hong Kong film Laughter of the water margins is shown on 90s, with not bad box office and with superstars. However, with such kind of so commercial film, or we can name it radio drama, can hardly be called as an artistic cinema. The reason people call it radio drama is that the whole film is supported by some funny dialogues. Editing and cinematography help it little in the whole work, which audience can only through audio to enjoy the film. Firstly, can we define it as a film? This work has all elements that a film should have, such as directing, editing, cinematography, etc., etc. Furthermore, is the director playing a key role in it? Indeed he is, and he successfully makes his audience laugh. But why people always not willing to define such commercial film and artwork? The reason might be, most importantly, that people has the higher of artistic pursuit today. And these kind of films are not deep enough to talk about something that could meet the artistic value of the audience of the time. Secondly, the film language here is not fully used by the director as it is mentioned before. In other words, the director didn't present himself by the film deeply and completely at all to keep such kinds of film away from art. Furthermore, some films that, although the director makes full use of every film language and present things deeply and completely, we will merely make an equal sign between them and art. Point film may be an example. Most of the point film directors successfully make a blue movie that catch people's eyes, with special film language and all elements that it should have are all in readiness. Frankly, some may think that point film is a kind of art, but most of people don't. The reason may be that a director is playing a very unimportant role in a point film production, but relies on the actors and the audience much. All the director has to do is recording the whole process of people making love, even if sometimes they will give some close-up of their facial expression or the organs, but everyone else can be that director and produce a nearly work. It is to say that this kind of work lack of the uniqueness from the director, which is a very important factor to make cinema an independent art. For the same reason, most of the time when some micro movies of a wedding are shown on the YouTube, people won't associate them as arts because they are lack of creation. Although the director make effort to show the sweetness moment of that couple, after thousands similar wedding videos, people may just think it as a bunch of beautiful footages. Director here already not presenting his deeply and complete point of view, but copying things one after another. All in all, Pudovkin's theory is still alive in the 21st century. To define a cinema as an art, the director plays the key role in it. But it is not saying that a film with a director who presents his idea successful can make a film as an independent art. Last but not least, there is a question that still questioning people. How, if cinema do nothing to the society? In other words, when a film has little social value, can it be an art? For example, if one put a camera moving around an apple recording for 5 minutes, to tell that this apple is red and roundness. Does it count as an art? Some say yes, because the director is trying to present his point of view with camera language. And some say no, because people don't need this kind of message. This true judgment can hardly have a conclusion, because these kinds of examples may be too much possibility. Thanks to the simple elements and the unusual ways of presentation, audience can have too much room for imagination. The director can't control the outcome most, but up to the audience more.